We're here to present to you our budget, which is a shortfall. We're here to present to you an opportunity in resolving this through the GET by increasing, taking advantage of the additional 0.25%. Selling point on that, I think you're very familiar with it, that the GET is paid by 25% and up by the tourist industry. And that's a great help relieving that burden from the one and only property tax that we rely on.
So we are here to talk about Bill 19. Right now, we do have a 0.25% implemented that just went into effect on January 1st of 2019. So it's a 0.25%. The estimated income for 1 year is roughly $25 million. That's based on some current projections we received from the state. Again, it's only been in effect for a month, so until we get like our first payment and really know how much that's going to generate, we'll be able to better estimate that. We do believe visitors will be paying approximately 25 to 35%. Currently, what we're charging right now, that 0.25%. It is a little lower than some estimates we've given you in the past because our tourism, our visitor counts and spending are both down for this last year after our lava incident. But they would contribute to our transportation infrastructure, and right now that 0.25% can only be used for transportation. And that also sunsets on December 31st, 2020, as that's the way it's written in our county code right now. The 0.25% surcharge would cover our transportation needs, definitely for mass transit, new buses, modernized system, increasing the responsiveness, being able to get the signs out there, being able to get the system to track the buses, increasing the staffing, just basically implementing the mass transit master plan. Definitely can also be used for road improvements, whether it's the backlog of repair and road projects, or also helping us out because the reduced federal highway funding, highway money, the STIP funding that we generally get is being reduced each year, and it's getting a little bit more competitive. It also should help to reduce the traffic congestion, and then as well as trails. And you heard today, there's definitely a demand for improvement, accessibility, and new trails as well. Currently under our control, the county can control our real property tax rates. We can control fuel tax, the motor vehicle weight tax, the county portion, and the GET surcharge up to 0.5%. We don't really have any other taxing authority that's been granted to us by the state. And right now, the only one that's can be used for general fund is actually the real property tax taxes. So we do have this opportunity, as the mayor explained, to go in and amend our 0.25% surcharge up to the full 0.5% allowed by HRS to the full 1.5%. It would bring in roughly another expected $25 million per year. Still right now, it's all related to transportation. But if we were to gain flexibility from the legislature, there's several bills before them right now, we would have that other $25 million for other needs. Visitors would spend or contribute between 25 to 35%. We have a lot of unmet needs. We definitely have a lot of unmet transportation needs. I mean, the Mass Transit Master Plan has a lot of needs. It's very laid out in terms of what needs to be spent, and the mayor has committed to continuing to implement that plan. But in addition to that, we have a lot of uncontrollable increases, whether it's the ERS rates we talk about, the health benefit premiums that continue to increase, or the bargaining unit increases. Not all of the collective bargaining units have reached agreement yet. There's still several that are still negotiating. We have a lot of community needs, including addressing the homeless crisis, the increasing issue of squatters, and improving maintenance of our parks and recreation facilities island-wide. A lot of public safety, definitely more police presence. We've been hearing that more and more. Increased responsiveness, body cameras for our police officers, replacing aging fire apparatus, replacing aging police fleet, and technology upgrades for public safety, as well as just technology increases for our community in general, being able to close that fiber loop around the island so that when we have a breakage, it doesn't put all of us out and unable to work. Definitely having personnel to staff and monitor the building permit process, and then the enforcement of Bill 108, or short-term vacation rentals. These are some of the bills that are before the legislature that would help to increase the flexibility of the spending. Maui County has not adopted the GET surcharge. They're the only county not to. Now they have a new mayor and new council in place, and they are looking at that. So they also would like to amend it to allow some of the spending not only on transportation, but also on affordable housing and homeless projects. We've asked for flexibility that maybe to be able to spend up to 50% on other items. And then in addition to that, there's a joint request from us and Kauai to be able to spend some of it on infrastructure and then some of it on public safety. So there's definitely a lot of needs out there, and each island a little bit different, although similar at the same time. The impact of an additional 0.25% increase would be 26 cents on each $100 spent, whether it's a bag of groceries or others. So if you generally spend $20,000 each year on items impacted by GET, it'll be another $50 per year. If you spend more than that, like $50,000 a year on items subject to GET, it would be roughly $125 per year additional. Eligible food purchases under food assistance programs like SNAP and WIC, those are exempt from GET, as well as prescription drugs and medication is also exempt from GET. So in general, it would generate $50 million per year total for the whole half, if we went up to the 0.5% surcharge. The additional 0.25 would not be effective until January 1st, 2020, so roughly 11 months from now. It would generate an additional $12.5 million in fiscal year 2020 because it would only be halfway through the year. It's an opportunity for visitors to help support our local government, and it will help us diversify our county revenue, so it's not solely reliant on real property taxes. And then we do believe that other income generating options like raising real property tax rates or service fees would have a greater impact on our residents. So thank you for listening, and we're here to answer any questions you might have.
When we took office, when I took office, our county budget was $461 million. We're at 518 right now. It's about a 13% increase. We've had real property tax increases, and then last year was a wild card. Everything was really all over the board. You have heard me repeatedly, and Chair, I'm going to say this again. Silo legislation, we're looking at taxes. We don't have any concept of what the budget might be, and I'm not supportive of supporting any tax increase if I don't know what the whole picture is. And we're going to be talking about a ad hoc committee again concerning looking at putting everything in context. I do appreciate the fact that we need to diversify our revenue stream, but by the same token, I'm bothered by the fact that increase unless I know what we're talking about.
The reason we're here today is because there is a deadline of March 31st based on the HRS statute. So even though, you know, the ideal situation would be to look at the budget and then look at the taxes, we're restricted by state law at this point.
But I don't think should be ever considered held hostage to a timeline because of that. And in and itself, that's not necessarily a good reason to raise the tax.
We already know that the ERS rates are going up 5 percentage points for police and fire employees, not by 5%, but 5 percentage points. So from 31% that we're paying right now to 36%, followed by the following year in fiscal year 21, another 5 percentage points. So in 2 years from now, we will be paying 41 cents of every police and fire dollar to ERS. We know that the police officers' health benefits, because they're merging them in with the rest of the plans, will be increasing by 35%. And we know that we have collective bargaining. We have completed that for SHOPO and UPW, but HGA and firefighters are still continuing. So we are aware there's increases for those as well. And then we have a slight increase in our debt service. And these increases are not going to stop. They're going to continue. And that's just to hold services exactly the same as they are now.